Alien Med inquired. "Why does your blood smell like metal?" "That is merely the iron." Doctor in the Stellar Harmonies medical bay, Zapira attended to the human patient's wounds with practiced precision using her forearms. As a result of the just concluded boarding incident, Commander Sarah Chen sustained a deep but not life-threatening cut to her forearm. What troubled the Vexari physician wasn't the injury itself, but the peculiar metallic scent that filled her sensitive nostrils. Commander Chen, Zephra's translator, rendered her chittering voice into standard galactic. "I have to ask, why does your blood smell like so much metal to me? Are you suffering from some form of toxicity?" Sarah's dark eyes met the insectoid doctor's compound gaze as she stood from the biode. She had become accustomed to such inquiries after serving aboard the multi-species vessel for 3 months. The biology of humans, who had only recently joined the Galactic Coalition, never failed to awe their alien counterparts. Sarah gave a tired smile and replied, "That's just the iron, Doc. Hemoglobin based on iron is found in human blood. It aids in the transport of oxygen throughout our bodies and makes our blood red." Zapira's antenna twitched in what Sarah had learned was the Vexari equivalent of raised eyebrows. Iron? The metal used in construction and weaponry? That is moving through your body's circulatory system. Sarah confirmed that it was about 4 grams in total. Although it may not seem like much, it is necessary for us. The doctor's secondary arms paused in their work of applying synthetic tissue patches around the medical bay. The gaseous ethereals in their containment suits, the crystalline Saparians, other coalition species, and the plant-like Verdani had begun to pay attention to the conversation. Nurse Thymel, a Zapirian whose body chimed softly as she spoke, however, whispered that iron is so reactive. Iron oxidizes rapidly in our world. How can you keep your biological systems from getting corrupted? As the doctor, Sarah chuckled, slightly trembling. Zapira sealed the wound. "We have systems in place for that. Mechanisms for cell repair and antioxidants. Evolution figured it out over millions of years." "Fascinating." Dr. Zafir was amused as more anomalies were discovered by her medical scanner. "Your measurements of bone density are also unusual. Significantly higher levels of calcium and phosphate than in typical organic species." Sarah explained that hydroxyapatite gives our bones rigidity and strength. "We are able to withstand impacts that would shatter the skeletons of most other species." From across the bay where he was being treated for plasma burns, Chief Engineer Vorak, a massive chromari whose rocky hide was nearly impervious to damage, rumbled. "The human speaks truth. I witnessed her withstand a kinetic impact that should have liquefied her internal organs during the boarding action. She, just rolled with it, I guess." Her astonishment at Zapira's medical readings persisted. "Your muscle tissue contains unusual metallic traces as well." "Electrolytes, magnesium, potassium, and sodium," Sarah gave a nod. "They help. Our muscles contract and our nerves fire. Our whole bodies are basically walking chemistry sets." "Industrial materials fill chemistry sets." In astonishment, Femal observed as her crystal form glowed. "Your species builds starships from the same elements that comprise your bodies." The observation struck a chord of realization throughout the medical bay. The other species began to understand something profound about humanity that had previously escaped their notice. Zepha completed her scans and stepped back, all 4 arms gesturing in the Vexari expression of wonder. "Commander, your species doesn't just use tools. You are tools. Your bodies are constructed from the very materials needed to forge technology and survive in hostile environments." Sarah sat up on the biobed, testing her newly healed arm. "That could be one way to look at it, I suppose." "Consider the implications," Dr. Zepha continued, her excitement growing. Most coalition species evolved on garden worlds with stable atmospheres and gentle gravity. Before we were able to safely leave our homeworlds, we had to develop technology for millennia. Humans, on the other hand, contain technological components within their own cells. Vorax's rocky features shifted into what might have been a smile. This explains much about human behavior. On Kepler 442b, when the atmospheric processors failed, you humans continued surface operations, while the rest of us required environmental suits. We simply prolonged our breathing. Sarah nodded. A little bit more. Thimmel chimed incredulously. You worked for 6 hours in an unhealthy environment that would have killed any of us in a matter of minutes. Dr. Zapira brought up comparative biology holographic displays. Look at this. Humans have redundant systems throughout their physiology. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, and brain functions divided up. Your species was designed by evolution to survive catastrophic damage. We're resilient, Sarah admitted. Had to be. Earth wasn't exactly a kind place for young children. No, Dr. Zephyrus said quietly. Earth was a forge, and humanity was hammered into shape by forces that would have annihilated softer species. The medical bay fell silent as the implications sank in. This was a species that did more than just survive harsh conditions. They were made of the same material as their weapons and starships. Their blood flowed with metal. Mineral compounds were used to create their bones. And their entire physiology was a testament to evolutionary pressure that most coalition species couldn't even imagine. This alters how we perceive human capabilities, Dr. Zapira concluded. You are not merely another organic species that acquired technological skills. You're organic technology, beings made of the basic materials needed to rule the universe. Sarah stood, flexing her healed arm and meeting the gazes of her shipmates. We like to think of it as something that can be used. Because the universe is a dangerous place, we are built accordingly. The other coalition species treated their human coworkers with new respect as the medical bay resumed normal operations. They finally understood why humanity had adapted so quickly to galactic civilization, why human colonies thrived in environments that challenged other species, and why human soldiers were so effective in combat. They weren't just fighting alongside humans. They were fighting alongside beings forged from stardust and steel, creatures whose very blood carried the essence of the cosmos itself. The iron in their veins wasn't just biology. It was a promise that wherever the galaxy's dangers led, humanity would meet them with bodies built from the same fundamental forces that shaped the universe.